Hello, everybody. This is Rabbi Moshe Rothschild once again bringing you the summary of the news from Israel for the week ending December 31st, 2020. That's right, folks. It is the last day of the year on the Gregorian calendar. Let's say goodbye to 2020. We'll say hello to 2021 shortly, New Year's Eve. Crazy year 2020 has been. So, folks, if you're joining us, put your name down below. I'd love to say hello to you. And let's get some reactions to the news here, folks. So like I say every week, I do the hard work for you. I watch the news and I read the papers and I summarize so you can, in just a few minutes, know everything that you need to know about what's going on here in Israel. So this week, researchers predict, unfortunately, that a massive earthquake will hit Israel. They don't know when it's going to be, but they said a devastating 6.5 magnitude earthquake is likely to strike Israel in the near future. And here's the quote from Professor Shmuel Marco, the head of Tel Aviv University's Porter School of Environmentalism and Earth Science. He said, "I do not want to cause alarm, but we are living in a tectonically active period. The geological record does not lie, and a major earthquake in Israel will come." What he's forgetting is that the God of Israel does not sleep nor slumber. So the biggest ever record home sale in Israel occurred this week. The U.S. Embassy home, the home of the U.S. ambassador, was sold in Tel Aviv for a record $67 million. It was sold, well, it was actually sold in July, but it just hit the official public records. And it was a transaction that was shrouded in great secrecy, but we now know $67 million. That's a lot of dollars. The Tel Aviv mayor, Ran Huldai, formed a new political party, as it seems to be everybody in Israel does that, and trying to fill a void on in the left wing elements of Israel. And this new political party will be running in the 2021 elections. Remember, Israel is going to elections again in March. The new party is called the Israelis. Very creative name. Folks, if you're just joining us, pop your name down below. Love to hear your comments and your ideas as we're going through the news. So let's continue. A Gaza Terror, there was a Gaza Terror, I guess, conference where the groups united for a joint war game simulating conflict with Israel. For the first time, all the different terror groups in Israel got together and expressed their incredible unity in trying to destroy Israel. And so they fired a barrage of rockets out to the sea from Gaza. And like I said, first ever joint military exercises, as the Bible tells us, in the Tower of Babel, while the people were united, but they came together for something bad and God disperses them. Let's see what God is going to do here. Israel's warp speed, that was, of course, the name given in the United States for the search for a vaccine against COVID. Israel is by far way ahead of any country in the amount of vaccines or vaccinations that they've already given. More people have been vaccinated so far in Israel than have ever gotten sick. They hope in Israel by March to have the country reopened. That's a mere 3 months. And it's just incredible how quickly and how organized it is. I think it's because Israel is a military society. Everyone here has to go to the army at the age of 18, and they know how to get things done, how to get things organized quickly. We are, though, in our third and hopefully our final lockdown in Israel. And if you are a citizen from Israel, you're allowed to travel, but no one else can. When you return to Israel as a citizen, you had to go into what's called a Corona hotel for a period of 2 weeks quarantine. This week, a riot broke out at the Leonardo Hotel in Jerusalem as dozens of Israelis who had returned from abroad tried to escape isolation. Can you blame them? But they just actually in Israel passed a new law allowing people to isolate at home. In one of the weirdest stories I ever have to report, and write your name below, tell us what you think of this one. The Red Cross, the International Red Cross, blasted Israel this week for what? Violations in the fictional TV show called Fauda. It was a bizarre series of tweets from the International Committee of the Red Cross criticizing the fictional Israeli TV show for containing fictional violations of humanitarian law. Is that not the most bizarre thing? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? But that's what happened. We were criticized for a fictional TV show. That is strange. So what do you think of that one? Put your thoughts in the comments. This week, Israel struck back, retaliated against Hamas, the terrorists in Gaza, and they destroyed a secret rocket plant. I guess it wasn't such a big secret after all. The Israelis clearly knew about it. And the final story of our news for today and for 2020, Simon Cowell is going to be the new judge on X Factor Israel. British television personality and veteran music producer Simon Cowell will be a judge on the 4th season of Israel's The X Factor. It was announced this past week. Oh boy. So folks, there you have it, the news for the week. This is Rabbi Moshe Rothschild of the Israel Alliance. And very, very excited that we were able to fill this need over the course of the year, bringing you the news from Israel. We're hoping to continue into the future, bringing you all the news you need to know from Israel. Wishing you and all you love a wonderful 2021 and also a Shabbat Shalom, a beautiful, peaceful Sabbath. Blessings from the land of Israel.